Keto Nana, IF, OMAD, what the flip? Hey y'all, Keto Nana here to talk about some acronyms that you may have come across while you're doing research on the ketogenic lifestyle. And I thought I would just break them down and talk about, basically how I feel about them and what I'm doing. So anyway, hope this helps you. And now on to the very high-tech portion of our episode. So IF is probably the first one that you've seen. IF means intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is actually a natural progression of the ketogenic lifestyle. Because you're having so much fat in your diet, you just naturally are not hungry. I mean, that's really one of the selling points. The fact, forget the fact that you're losing weight and getting healthier. One of the major gripes on any, diet plan is how hungry you feel all the time, and you don't feel hungry on the ketogenic lifestyle. So intermittent fasting just sort of naturally progresses. So basically that means any period of time in between, one meal, any extended period of time between one meal and the next, no snacks. So your overnight meal, your dinner, between dinner and breakfast, if you have breakfast, that 10 to 12 hours gap, that's an intermittent fast. As long as you're not eating anything after dinner, that's an intermittent fast. What I discovered, and as I've mentioned on previous episodes, is that I no longer felt the need to have breakfast. And it took me a while to realize I don't really need to eat breakfast if I'm not hungry. So I've just been slowly extending the period when I actually break my fast, right? Breakfast does not mean 6 a.m. in the morning. It just means breaking your fast. So if you can go a little bit later, that's great. If not, if you need to have your breakfast, you still feel that need to have it because of the way your work day is arranged, have your breakfast and then skip lunch. And then you've had an extended fast, an intermittent fast between breakfast and dinner. So it's a very natural progression, and it's you're probably doing it without even knowing it. If you get a chance to watch anything by Dr. Jason Fung or read the Obesity Code, he really recommends no snacks. I mean, snacking spikes your insulin. So each time if you only have your 3 meals a day, you're only spiking your insulin 3 times. If you only have 2 meals a day, you're only spiking your insulin twice. If you have snacks, or if you graze throughout the day, you're spiking your insulin multiple times during the day. So if you're insulin resistant, which I am, which is IR, which I don't have a card for that, you really want to intermittent fast as much as you can, no snacking, keep your insulin spikes to a minimum. That's why they even recommend, like if you're going to make yourself like a mug cake or have some kind of dessert, have it right after your dinner or your lunch or whatever meal you're having, have it right after, so that it's all part of the same insulin spike. You're not spiking it again, right? You're having it pretty close, so that it's just your body's just reacting once, and then you're moving on. So that's what IF is, and I'm sure you're already doing it, but just wanted to share that with you. Another one is OMAD. Let's get this so where people can see it. OMAD, 1 meal a day. I can't do it. I can fast for extended periods of time, like 3-4 days. OMAD, 1 meal a day, I find very difficult. And you'd think that after all I've been talking about intermittent fasting, that'd be easy. My problem with it is, and I'm hoping that somebody out there on the web can educate me, is getting enough calories in one meal a day. I really can't do it. And I'm not sure whether that's even necessary. It might be because I'm on a keto diet and I'm fat adapted, that honestly it doesn't matter how many calories I have. If I only have 500 or 600 in that 1 meal a day, I'll be fine. But I'm concerned about OMAD and versus starvation mode, and kind of reducing my basal metabolic rate, which is BMR. Another acronym that you may have run across. And so I'm not sure how I feel about it. Part of me sometimes would like to do OMAD, and sometimes it just happens by default, and I just have as many calories. I don't even worry about what the calories are. I still stay within, my carb macros or all my macros, but I don't worry so much about the calories when it's just one meal a day. But typically I can't eat very much. I just can't gorge like that. So I don't know. If one meal a day works for you, or if you have some more information on it, please drop a comment and let me know about it. I'm curious about it. I'm curious if that, if my worries are for naught. So the next one, that brings us to the next one. If it fits your macros, or if it fits my macros, IIFMM. I mostly am a strict ketoer, where no sweet potatoes, obviously no regular potatoes, no corn, no soy, obviously no wheat. But there are times, and because I live in the South, there are times I want a sweet potato. And as I've mentioned many times before, I am not a big fan of suffering. I think you're put on this, on earth. You're living this life to be happy, to spread joy. And part of my happiness and spreading joy is to every once in a while have a sweet potato. Sweet potatoes are chock full of good nutrition. So what I do is, even though most of the time I strictly am a keto, strictly follow the keto plan, there are times that I kind of splurge a little bit. I take a little sidestep, and I do. If it fits in my macros, I can have it. So what I do if I want a sweet potato, obviously I know ahead of time I'm going to be cooking sweet potatoes. It takes a while to cook those suckers. I arrange my macros. I don't have any carbs that day, so that the only carbs I'm having are from the sweet potato. Let me tell you, a sweet potato smothered in butter is like dinner and dessert all in one. It's amazing. So if there's something that you've been craving or that you used to like pre-keto that's not quite keto, it's not strictly keto, but you can have some and arrange them with your macros, I recommend it. I think it helps you stay on the path. It helps you not feel like you're denying yourself and suffering. I mean, it's just good for the long term. So if there's something you want and it fits in your macros, every once in a while do it. For those of you who are strict keto and just don't want to do that, more power to you. I just find that it works better for me to kind of stray every once in a while. Stay within my macros, stay within the 14 net carbs a day, but a half a sweet potato every once in a while, if that's all it takes to make you happy, that's amazing. So, whatever works for you. Next one. Whoops, we got bulletproof coffee, bulletproof tea. If you've ever, especially if you read the Obesity Code or any books on fasting, Fasting 101, a lot of people go for MCT oil, multi-chain triglycerides, and you can use I use an immersion blender in my tea, so I make bulletproof tea. I call it my frothy tea. I just add a tablespoon, but I think a lot of people add 2 tablespoons, but I find a tablespoon is enough. Makes it very creamy, it's actually very luxurious. And on days that you're fasting or trying to extend that time before you eat, trying to extend your intermittent fast, bulletproof coffee or bulletproof tea can be the difference between success and just giving up and saying, okay, I need to eat something. So try it. It's very simple, very easy to do. And I really wondered, because I kept hearing about bulletproof coffee, and I'm not much of a coffee drinker. I'm really a tea drinker. It tastes delightful in tea. I have not tried it in coffee yet, but it tastes delightful in tea. So give it a whirl. If you don't have an immersion blender, you can put it in a regular blender. You really want to shake it up intensely because it's an oil, right? So, but anyway, bulletproof coffee, bulletproof tea, aces. So the next one and the last one that I'm going to talk about is way of eating, WOE, which sounds like this should be a sad thing, whoa, but it's just, or WOL, way of life. That's how I feel about keto. I feel that this is not a diet. This is a lifestyle change. I don't see any reason to go back. I don't miss anything. I can make, amazing bread. Wholesome Yum has a fabulous 5-ingredient, actually 8 if you include the extras, which make it better. Very easy to make bread that, I've baked loaves and carried out with us when we go traveling so that we can have something at the Airbnbs that we're staying with or whatever. Because I have been like craving peanut butter and jelly. That was like what I missed, peanut butter and jelly. I wanted bread, and I've tried all kinds of bread recipes, and most of them are very eggy and make me want to barf. This Wholesome Yum 5-ingredient bread is egg whites, so it doesn't have that eggy smell or taste, and it is perfect. So anyway, WOE, way of eating, way of life. If this is more than just, I'm trying to lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, and then I'm going to go back to eating Twinkies, I don't view keto like that. Keto is, I'm 55, finally getting my, health and diet and body under control. I don't ever want to go back to what it was before. So keto is a way of eating, way of life for me. I'm going to sneak an extra one in. SAD, Standard American Diet. We are never going back to that Standard American Diet. The diet, the food pyramid is actually undergoing some changes, and they're, and rightfully so. But Standard American Diet is never going to be healthy. It's way too high on carbs, way too high on, wheat and grains, and reduces the amount of fat and healthy fats that you're going to eat. So Standard American Diet, it's never going to cut it for me. We're going to do the ketogenic way of eating. So I hope this acronym episode was helpful for you. If you know anything about OMAD and can help alleviate my fears about number of calories that you need to eat, I'd really like to hear from you. I'm very interested in that. I just, I don't want to go into starvation mode. So, and I'm just not sure how that works. So anyone that knows anything about it, let me know. Until the next time, take good care of yourself. Keto on. I know you can do it. Bye.